President Donald Trump's favorite billionaires are getting worried about his tariffs. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Tuesday, April 8th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. President Trump swept back into office with the support of corporate leaders, conservative influencers, and billionaires. But now, some of those backers are breaking with the president in a major way. Trump's plan to impose new tariffs on most of the world has sent the stock market reeling, and not in the direction the business world would like. That has led to pushback from some billionaires, podcasters, and Republican lawmakers. Even billionaire Elon Musk, who has worked closely with the president to reshape the federal government, is parting ideologically from Trump on tariffs. Speaking to Italian Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini over the weekend, Musk said this.
I'm hopeful, for example, with the tariffs, that at the end of the day, I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America.
Yesterday, Trump's global trade war escalated even further. The president threatened to impose an additional 50% tariff on Chinese products. But mounting criticism is an early sign that the economic turmoil caused by Trump's tariffs could leave lasting political scars on the president. The Supreme Court cleared the way for deportations of Venezuelans to El Salvador. That's number 2. Last month, Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport alleged members of a Venezuelan gang. It was one of the most controversial immigration enforcement actions of his second term so far. The government rushed to deport the Venezuelans to a notorious mega prison in El Salvador, and one Maryland man was sent there by mistake. A federal judge ordered a halt to the deportations, and the case made its way all the way up to the Supreme Court. And last night, justices cleared the way for Trump to use the Alien Enemies Act for deportations. But the ruling was pretty complicated. It did not touch on underlying legal questions about the government's use of the act. Instead, the majority ruled that 5 Venezuelan immigrants who challenged the policy did so in the wrong court. That leaves open the possibility that those targeted for deportation could refile their case elsewhere. Justices also said that detainees must have an opportunity to challenge their deportations. Number 3. The Trump administration fired a top Navy admiral. Vice Admiral Shoshana Chatfield was assigned to NATO headquarters in Brussels. She had served at NATO since 2023, after becoming the first woman to lead the Naval War College in Newport, Rhode Island. But over the weekend, she was abruptly informed of her dismissal. The reason wasn't shared publicly, but Chatfield has been targeted by conservatives over her past comments praising diversity in the military. Her firing is part of an ongoing purge of top military officers that has disproportionately targeted women. The firings have been criticized by Democrats and some retired military officers. They've said they're concerned about losing experienced leaders and the potential politicization of the military. Number 4. Trump said the U.S. will have direct talks with Iran over its nuclear program. Trump met at the White House with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, he said this about upcoming talks with Iran.
We're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. It'll go on Saturday. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. And I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable to doing the obvious.
That obvious probably meant bombing Iran. Trump has repeatedly threatened to do so if Iran doesn't abandon its nuclear program and stop supporting various militias in the Middle East. But his claim about direct talks contradicts what Iranian leaders said just hours before. Iran has insisted that any talks would be indirect and conducted through mediators. Trump originally offered direct negotiations to Iran early last month. Direct or indirect, those talks are set to be held on Saturday in Oman. Number 5. Weather patterns are doing a near-perfect 180 on opposite ends of the country. Depending on where you're listening to this, you're either going to need to fire up your heat or the AC this week. In the eastern half of the U.S., unseasonably cold conditions will bring freezing temperatures. The cold front is forecast to hit the East Coast today and clear the Gulf Coast by tomorrow. Temperatures 15 to 25 degrees below normal will hit much of the central U.S., and parts of the Great Lakes and Northeast are expected to get some snow in the days to come. Meanwhile, in the West, prolonged cool conditions are giving way to a rapid warm-up. An early season heat dome will push temperatures there to near record highs. Americans are losing interest in electric cars. That's number 6. New polling from Gallup published today reveals a change in how Americans feel about electric vehicles. The number of Americans who own or are open to buying an EV dropped to 51% in early 2025. That's down 8 points from 59% in 2023. The poll doesn't show the exact reasons for the drop in interest. But EV makers are under pressure from Trump's tariffs, the threatened repeal of consumer tax credits, and a halt to a national build-out of charging stations. And in particular, Tesla sales have plummeted. That has happened as the company's CEO, Elon Musk, has pushed to cut the federal workforce and polarized the country. And at number 7. The Florida Gators won the NCAA men's basketball championship.
He walked. He can't touch it. He can't. 1 second. And it's over. Florida is back on top of the college basketball world.
Last night in San Antonio, the Gators stormed back from a 12-point deficit to beat Houston 65-63. That clinched Florida's third national championship, and it denied the Cougars their first. After going scoreless in the first half, Florida star Walter Clayton Jr. found his way to 11 points in the second. And as Houston's Emmanuel Sharp rose for one last shot, Clayton was there to ruin it just before the final buzzer. Clayton was named the tournament's most outstanding player. Florida ended its season with a 36-4 record, and with the title has reasserted its basketball prominence. All right, you're all caught up. For your next listen, check out Try This. That's an audio course hosted by friend of the show, Christina Quinn. The final episode of her latest season drops today. In this season, Christina teaches you strategies for how to let go of your devices and focus, something that seems harder and harder to do. Find Try This wherever you listen to podcasts and let Christina reset your brain. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.
My name is Tom Sietsema, and I am the food critic for The Washington Post. I think a lot of great restaurant meals are like great books, films, or concerts. You don't necessarily need them to live, but don't they make life more worth living? I see myself as sort of a reader advocate going in there, spending the Post's money, coming back and giving you the green light, yield sign, or a stop sign. I like to be seen as sort of the best friend who happens to eat out a lot more than they do. I eat in about 10 restaurants a week, and I like creating memories for people and helping them create memories, whether those are first date, a 50th anniversary, grandma's 90th birthday, if you have special needs, whether they're dietary or otherwise. When you subscribe to The Washington Post, you support this kind of journalism. Learn more at subscribe.washingtonpost.com. I'm Tom Sietsema, and I'm one of the people behind the Post.